Good morning. Now that you have done your starter and gone through the waggle, we are going to look at rhetorical questions. So, what is a rhetorical question? We've all looked at these before. However, a rhetorical question is a question which does not need an answer. So it is a question that we include in a text that we are not expecting someone to answer us. So, why do we use rhetorical questions? If we are not expecting an answer, why are we asking a question? So, rhetorical questions are often used in adverts to persuade people to buy the product. They are often used at the beginning of adverts to draw the reader in. And we looked at using them when we were advertising the Airbus 3000. So looking at this hotel, the rhetorical question is, who wouldn't want to stay here? So, looking at rhetorical questions, I would like you to take a second to read through this passage and spot the rhetorical questions. See if you can count them while you go. Pause the video and read through the passage now. Off you go. Okay, now you've had a chance to pause that and to have a read through. Let's look at the rhetorical questions together. So, why not visit our most horrid hotel? It's a rhetorical question. You'll be surprised at what an awful time you will have. Love sleeping in lumpy beds? Then look no further for your ultimate break. Lions are overrated anyway, aren't they? Why not book today? Who doesn't want a night in the horrid hotel? Okay, so we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rhetorical questions there. And we can see here that rhetorical questions often start with, do you really? Are you? Why not? Who can deny? Who doesn't? And love? Okay, so looking at our explanation text, although it is not an advert, it is still using rhetorical questions. The introduction is similar to an advert. We are trying to draw the reader in to make them want to use the teacher pleaser machine, and then we explain how it works. So here we have, do you suffer from a grumpy teacher? If so, then use the teacher pleaser machine, and soon your teacher will become the jolliest person in school. How does the machine work? We are not actually asking the reader how the machine works. They don't know. We are just telling them through our rhetorical question that we will explain that. We will answer that question in the text. So, do you suffer from a grumpy teacher? And how does the machine work? This rhetorical question here, we could swap. We wouldn't have to start with do you. If we go back to our other openers, instead of saying, do you suffer from a grumpy teacher? You could say, love having a jolly teacher. Or, are you suffering from a grumpy teacher? Or, who doesn't want a jolly teacher? Okay, so you can see that lots of these question openers will apply here, could apply here. Now, your job for the day is to write the introduction for some different explanation texts about different machines, and we will do one of them together. Now, to help me with this, I am just going to copy this introduction because we know when we do talk for writing that we can borrow sentence structures to help us. So I am going to put the sentences from our first introduction on here, and I am going to use them to help me. Okay, so here we have the ultimate cleaner. So I am going to write an introduction for the ultimate cleaner, and I am going to use 2 rhetorical questions. Okay, so do you suffer from a filthy apartment? If so, then use the super cleaner machine. And soon your apartment will sparkle like the stars. Oops. Okay, so here I have used a simile. I have also used some alliteration. Sparkle, stars. How does the machine work? Okay, so here I have very closely copied the sentence structures from the introduction. You are also allowed to do that. If you think you can, then you could maybe look at altering the first question. So, is your apartment always filthy? Or love having a clean apartment? Okay, so you can change the first question if you would like to. Challenge yourselves, but if you're not sure that you'll get it right, then don't worry. You can copy our sentence structures. That's why we have them there. Your job today. Here is the homeworkatron. Here is the teleportus. We've already looked at the teleportus. For both of those, you are going to write an introduction to an explanation text, just like this one, just like this one. In the third box, you are going to draw your own invention and then write an introduction for that using 2 rhetorical questions. So, by the end of this lesson, you will have an introduction for the homeworkatron with 2 rhetorical questions. You will have an introduction for the teleportus with 2 rhetorical questions. And you will have an introduction for your own invention with 2 rhetorical questions. So you will have 6 rhetorical questions by the end of the lesson. The second one, how does the machine work? Keep that one the same in each introduction because it leads on really nicely to then explaining how the machine works. So keep this one the same. How does the machine work? Really good one to have in our explanation texts. Okay, we will look forward to seeing your rhetorical questions and your own inventions. Have a lovely day, Year 4. Goodbye.